the landowner or myself.
You
We'll
hear
see-
okay, Sam?
We'll look at it and go, oh, no, everything's good.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll move it on the merry way.
And the product and
She's
project is
muted.
replacing the room siding with wood siding.
And so she can-
Siding doesn't have a permit
That's,
needed.
that's right.
Sarah, could you unmute and let us know if you can hear us okay?
I can, thanks.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hey, Bob.
Okay, work session underway. Hello, check. I don't know.
Oh, it was on.
It was, my light's off. What's going on? There we go. All right. Hey, David.
There it is.
All right, we're gonna start our work session, which is basically just us chatting up here. About the projects in front of us. So for my fellow board members, do we have any comments on 45 Glen Road?
I just have a few questions. There has been a clarification update that the window is on the rear of the house. And I was also wondering if the existing size of the opening is being changed and what, if any, trim materials are planned for that infill, the glass block infill?
Okay,
And my only comment was, no, it's not my decision on who spends the energy, but it seems like we can just do window film these days and not have to worry about glass block to replace a
Second story, there's no security.
registered security,
Yeah.
and it's a decent looking double hung window. So I don't know, just
Well, we could ask what the intention was
Yeah.
in going with glass block.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and even if
mean-
it's in a shower or something, you can
it's
do an
probably-
interior storm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
all right, any additional comments on 45 Glen Road? All right, let's move on to 47 Joy. Attached garage and covered patio.
I didn't have any comments.
I had a couple comments. It feels like the dormers to me feel like they're really large on the garage. And I was wondering if we were to bring them in a little bit so they're not maybe bring them in towards the garage door, center of the garage door a little bit, it might help. And I was wondering if instead of a gable end on the dormer, if it was a hip roof, it would better match the existing house and maybe help bring the scale down a little bit.
I had the same comment about the hip roofs on the dormers because it would help blend with the existing historic home a little bit better. And I just wanted to also verify that the roof and siding materials are matching the existing house. And the same with trim dimensions. Are they going to be matching the house? And also it would have been helpful to have some drawings that actually show the size and scale of the addition in the context of the rear elevation of the house. It's a little hard to make any judgments without that information. Because it could, it's very critical to the way the project would look.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree on the hipped roof idea. Also, the back elevation might benefit some windows. It's a long wall with nothing on it.
I had the same comment. Yeah.
I'll say the dormer looks big on the side elevation, but doesn't look inappropriate on the baseline elevation. It's kind of an optical illusion.
And another item, I just wanted to verify if the same siding material is proposed for the front elevation of the dormers because they're blank in the drawing. There is no material rendered there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think I heard somebody say about the hip versus the,
Yeah.
Yeah, on the
is
back.
that for the dormer only?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking for dormer.
Yeah,
only.
okay.
And also, if you look at the front elevation with the dormers, the bottom of the wall does not come down to the eave line. But then if you look at the side elevations, never mind. I take that back. I see what's going on.
I did a double take on that.
Okay.
I think I had similar thoughts, and then I also wondered about I guess the back elevation. I didn't know if they considered any additional fenestration.
Yeah, I think David mentioned that.
Okay, yeah, David did. Yeah, it just seems like the existing house is, you know, it has a lot of windows and this one's kind of a big blank wall, so. Which would be beneficial for the interior and the exterior, I think. All right. That is that one. 47 Joy, and now I've got two sets of, okay, yeah, that's the old one. So is next to 20 Hawthorne, because I've got two
210, yes.
agendas here.
210 Hawthorne.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nothing.
Okay. Yep, 210 Hawthorne is next. That was changes to approved plan.
I was just wondering if we could have a discussion about exactly what's changed. There's revision clouds, but we don't have the originally approved submittal. So I would like to review that with the applicant.
Okay, any other comments on 210 Hawthorne?
Not I.
Same comment here.
Okay. Very good. Next, we have 15 Hamel, new construction home. This is the one I think that has the
FAR.
the FAR.
That's the what?
The
FAR.
request.
Oh.
Were you here for that?
Carol weren't
I
here.
was,
Yeah.
freezing my ass off.
Okay.
Coolly.
Came home a day early.
That's on record right now.
Snowshoes.
It's Kentuckus. All right, so. Yeah, so for David and
I wasn't here either.
Tracy and I, we saw this last
So
time.
was this here, the meeting I missed about an FAR? And they're back again?
Yes,
I didn't
yes.
know
Mhm.
I reviewed it and I don't have any objection to the FAR.
that. I was okay with the way the house looked.
Yeah, they did make some, I mean, they did do some work on it
Yeah.
since we've seen
Yeah.
it last, and I thought this is a good improvement.
What was the original, what was the last FAR request that was asked? for?
39.9
Okay.
or 8, 39.
So it'd come-
It
so
was
it'd come
right on
down-
the edge
So they've
and
come down about 3,
200 square feet or so.
So
or-
they've shrunk the house a little bit.
right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The only other question, I guess to clarify when we meet with them, it's not specifically stated what the exterior materials are, so just to clarify that, it looks like stucco and stone, but not
Mhm.
called out.
I think there was a little bit of a slip up here. My set doesn't include a copy of the left elevation. So if somebody happens to have that.
Your, the left.
I had it. There's a side elevation missing.
Yeah,
Somehow.
the left side elevation's missing.
Yeah.
I have
yeah, and
two
front rear.
copies of one sheet, but there
Right.
is no left elevation.
Same here.
And I just reserved comment until we saw the left
Oh, yeah.
elevation.
That's fine. Okay. So we'll chat about that one.
Yeah, we'll chat about that during, when we call your project.
Two of the
Okay.
same sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it looks like that's the same for all of our.
okay. Next, we have 633 North Forest Avenue, 2-story rear addition and detached garage.
I had a comment on this one, just looking at the east elevation of the garage. I was curious if we could add a window there. Right now, there's two sides with nothing interrupting the siding. So I thought that it could benefit from additional window.
Same.
Just had some clarification questions. On the house elevation drawing, some of the existing windows are shown to remain. But the trim on those windows is only partially drawn. Some just have the header and no trim. And I just wanted to clarify that that existing trim is to be kept in place. Or what the plan is for that, because it is a bit of an inconsistency. And there's a prow on the front of the house that isn't shown on the drawings. And I was wondering, just wanted to verify if that's remaining or if that's being removed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's see. Then I think the new side porch could benefit from a porch skirt because it is highly visible.
Mm.
And then regarding the garage, this is a suggestion only to consider maybe putting a gable louver on that front elevation to help tie the garage to the house design. I think that would be helpful.
Mhm.
And then I also had a similar comment about adding windows to the garage.
All right. Any additional comments?
No.
All right. Next one's tabled. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 pre-approvals. So that brings us to 150 Parsons Avenue, which is a preliminary new construction.
I had several comments on this one. We were provided with a main floor plan, but we don't have a roof plan and a basement plan, which would be helpful. The stone is shown on the front porch, and it looks like it terminates right at the corner where the building ends. So we would see the profile of that stone thickness there, and I think it would be better to wrap the stone around the corner, around bedroom 3 on the side. And if we added a window to that side of the bedroom, maybe that would help us find a way to terminate where that stone should end on that elevation. And I also had a comment on bedroom 2. There's only one window in that room. I'm wondering if it might be better served if there was a double window instead, provide more light in there. I think those are my big comments.
All right, Carol.
Just a question, something to discuss. The primary bedroom seems like it would be very dark. And I was just wondering if that was intentional, because there's just one window and one door, and the door is under a roof. And I just wanted to know if they were intending that, or if they would be open to a modification, because I think another window or windows in that bedroom would also help the elevation as well.
Yeah,
For sure.
I agree with that.
My comments were, they have 2 little rectangular vents on the front gables. They wanted to continue that theme a little more around the house. It'd be great. And I don't quite know why they jumped the elevation of the band board on the side elevations from where they are. Maybe there's a reason for it, but the band boards on the front and the rear have one discipline to it, and on the 2 side gables seem to take off in a different direction. Just curious why.
Mm-hmm.
Good comment.
I think, yeah, for me, I was looking at the windows, and the right side elevation seems like there's a couple different head heights. I wasn't sure why.
Yeah, that was kind of different, wasn't it?
It's, I mean, there might even be three. I'm not sure. Seems like one or two, maybe not three.
No, there's three.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was curious about that. And then also it seems like, I believe others have mentioned this already, but bedroom 2 could benefit from a second window. As could the primary bedroom. Window light from both sides is always nicer in the room, I think. But also this is primary from the exterior to help break it up. And then bedroom 3 is really the same for me. You know, it could be a smaller window. I know sometimes people talk about beds being an issue. There's all kinds of ways to arrange more windows and make the beds work in all of these. But those were my comments. All right. Lastly, we have this 509 Summit second floor addition. Though I believe there's a updated copy for everyone.
Oh, is there?
No,
Am I wrong about that?
There was the,
that's
Oh,
Sanders.
what's this?
That's on Maple.
Oh. Okay.
I didn't have any comments.
So hold on a second on this one.
with the memo that we just received about the FAR request, I'd like to talk with the applicants about the reason that they're requesting the maximum.
Yeah,
This project on Summit's FAR. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that is a lot of.
It would be, yeah, it would be two separate votes. But that was basically because Mara got it so late before she left, so. All right, well. We can chat about the bar.
Yeah, I
That's
was gonna-
because we consumed the first 5 or 10 before we started. All right, so we have what, 5 minutes or so? For those who are here and online, we're just going to take a 5-minute pause and our official meeting will begin at 5:30. If you could hold on till then, thank you. I'd ask everyone, we're getting ready to start our regular meeting. We just finished our work session and our regular meeting will now begin. Thank you for attending. Introduce Yolanda Wilkins and Andrew Klosterman with the city. We have Sarah Richardson, who's our council liaison on our Zoom. Board members Carol Dunkey, Tracy Collins, Ken Burns, David Yates, and myself, Bob Buckman. We're all volunteer architects on the board. First item of business would be approval of the June 1st, 2023 meeting minutes, which I think David, Carol, and Ken were present. So you weren't, you're checked on here. June 1st.
This is the meeting proceeding.
Not the last one.
Not,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Do you think you were here? It says you were. June 1st. Okay, so with David, Carol, and Ken, I would ask you to make a motion on those meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
I make the motion to accept the meeting minutes as issued.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, June 1st meeting minutes have been approved as written. Next on our list, we have June 15th, 2023, and that's myself, Tracy, David. So if I have a motion on those. Nope, not Carol.
Oh.
David?
I'm making a motion to accept those meeting minutes as issued.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the June 15th meeting minutes have been approved as written. We have some pre-approvals next. Somewhere in this pile. So when I call the project, if my fellow board member would make a motion, refer to the handout Mara, Yolanda, and Andrew provided for us. First one is 222 Parkhurst Terrace. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to pre-approve 222 Parkhurst Terrace with the clarification the new siding profile and textures matches existing and all 1/1 windows are consistent around the house.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, Parkhurst Terrace is approved. Next, we have 822 North Bompart Avenue. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 822 North Bompart Avenue with the clarification that the siding will match the existing and the understanding that the southeast elevation drawing will be amended to show the stairs from the deck to the landing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, Bompart is approved. Next, we have 36 North Maple Avenue, and I know that there's the amended drawings in front of all of us. With that, I'll ask for a motion.
I make a motion to approve the rear addition at 36 North Maple with the understanding that the front porch is a part of the project as shown on the amended drawings dated 7/7/2023, actually meant to be 7/6, and the window locations on the second story will be shown on the elevations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? 36 North Maple is approved. And then last pre-approval is 446 Foot Avenue. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 446 Foot Avenue as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Foot is approved. Next, we have our projects that we'll discuss tonight. The first three are public, and then the rest of them. So if I read your project in your present, we'll ask that one or two or three of you come up and introduce yourself at the microphone up here, and then we'll discuss your project. And if you're online, to raise your Zoom hand and Yolanda will add you. First one is 45 Glen Road. Is there anyone present for that?
Hi, Erin Greco.
Hi,
So
Erin.
45 Glen. So we're wanting to put in a second story bathroom window that's black in the back of the house.
Okay. Comments?
Is there a particular reason you decided to go with glass block instead of sticking with a double hung?
Yeah, because Andrew told me that's what we needed to do to, because he told me that's what we should do. So I listened to what he said. So we're putting a bathroom in there. So he said it
So it's
had,
not a bathroom now.
no, not
Okay.
yet. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there, what would there be?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can get safety glazing that isn't glass block. I mean, you can, if it's in a proximity where it would need to be safety glazing. Yeah,
I just thought it would look really pretty to be like make
Mhm.
it a interesting design, like make it look really pretty on the inside and the outside.
Is that gonna be in the, is that like gonna be in the shower? area?
Yes, in the back of the
Yeah.
shower.
Back in the shower, okay.
Yeah.
Just one thought on that too, though. You can get windows safety glaze. You can get fiberglass windows can be completely water resistant. So there are more options now than there used to be. If you wanted to consider double hung or something that matches the rest with obscure glass, it's just
That was the other reason, is because of privacy. I
Right.
thought, yeah, the glass
Yeah.
block would be much more private in the back of I
right.
mean, we'd still have like the vent. So you
Mhm.
still have like some airflow, but it lets in so much light and it's very private for the back of the
Mhm.
shower.
Yeah, just
I mean, that was,
yeah, that was a thought. Sure. No, that makes sense. I think just letting you, in case you didn't know, like you can get all kinds of obscured glass. There's so many options now that there weren't before.
right.
Okay.
just a follow-up question or two. On your glass block
Yes.
sketch here,
Uh-huh.
it looks like there's some spaces between the top, middle, and bottom piece.
That's for them to place it. It's because each section they said weighs like, it's very heavy.
I understand. So it's like a structural
Correct. So
requirement.
it's like 1, 2, 3. So then when they go to install it, it's not too heavy to put in.
Okay.
I think
And
it's just a grout joint.
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
grout
I
It
lights.
looks, the sketch is kind of,
Well, I just wanted to clarify
Yeah.
because I was also wondering what kind of trim is going to be around this window, if
Mm.
any, and
Yeah.
if those cross members were going to be
Mhm.
trimmed out in some way.
So it'll be in the back inside of a shower. So
I'm
they'll
talking about on the outside.
on the outside.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be the same as it was. So it's
Okay.
just going to stay consistent with the rest of the house.
right.
Okay.
So
Is-
it'll just be the same.
So you're
Yeah.
setting
Same
the glass
trim.
block inside the wood frame.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Inside the window frame.
Okay.
It'll look the same from the outside.
And
That's on
it's the same, you're not changing the size of the opening.
No.
It's the same size. Okay.
Everything's going to stay the
Okay.
same. So basically, I'm just trying to put a shower in that enclave in
Yeah.
that part of the house. And then
Makes sense.
for safety, we decided to
Yeah.
go
That's, I mean,
and privacy. Of course.
yeah.
Yeah,
And, that's fine. Sometimes we just need context. So this is all helpful about,
sure.
that the opening size stays the same and you plan to trim it out similar to the way it is.
It's going to look amazing.
Yes. Especially from inside the
From
shower.
inside, it will look amazing.
Okay, very good. All right, if there's no other comments from board members, is there anyone else present in person or online that wants to make a comment? Since it's a public hearing. Mhm. All right, with that, do I have a motion on 45 Glen Road?
I'll make a motion to approve 45 Glen Road as submitted with the understanding that the existing opening size will be unchanged and that the existing trim will remain on the exterior.
For sure. Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Aye. Opposed?
you.
You're approved, Aaron.
Thank you.
Have a good night. All right, next we have 47 Joy Avenue.
I'm Dennis Sharp with Coach House Garages. This is
Yeah.
Debbie Richardson. Hello.
Dennis and Debbie, welcome. All right. I don't know if you guys heard some of the comments or we can go back through them again. Whichever way you'd like.
I've been through the list. I was here earlier.
Okay, go ahead.
So let's just address the dormers, for instance. We're using the same material, which is LP siding, 6-inch to match the house. And the color would match the house as well. As far as the size of the dormer, kind of felt like with the size of the roof, the bigger dormers really kind of help fill up some of the space, as well as the homeowner felt the same way. I drew him 3 different types of roofs. I did a shed roof, I did a hip roof, and I did a gable roof. And they felt the gable was the one that they wanted to go with on the dormer roofs. Windows on the back, I didn't get it.
He has agreed that if you want windows on the back side, he is amenable to doing some windows on the back. At the time, he didn't feel like he needed any, but if you want to have something aesthetically, then we could put windows in that match the other windows that he has on the right elevation.
Question is, how many windows are you wanting him to put in? It's broken up into 3 segments: a gym, a garage, and then we have the open patio.
Yeah.
It's on the right side of the gym area. It's got, 2 windows, door. I mean, he's got that whole area pretty slugged full with windows already. So I guess the other option would be 2 in the garage, if that's what you're looking for.
You want to move 2 of those windows to the other side?
He does not. That's what he wants. And that front's pretty full. I don't like it, but, it's not my garage.
The right elevation. Okay, so that's the right. Left.
The back elevation is, I think, the one that was being questioned because they're in.
Yeah, the one along the side.
Is there
Okay, yeah.
are there any lights? Are there any windows in the garage door itself?
In the overhead?
Yeah. Are there any windows in the garage door itself?
No.
Yes. So I mean, it'd make me happy if I was a homeowner and had some daylight in the garage. So maybe 2 windows there, or at least 1.
Yeah.
I'll go for 1. We've got a stairwell in the back as well, so we're
Mhm.
kind of out of wall space.
1 in the garage.
Oh,
On
I
the
see.
back
Oh,
wall.
I see this-
Yeah.
I see the stair now.
Yeah, and the exercise room already has windows on the back, so, if he wanted to add 1, that'd be fine, but on the rear, but if not, whatever, he thinks.
Okay.
Would work, I think. My thought.
All of the material that we used will be matching the house. I think that was
Okay.
asked in a couple of places. And the stair railing and deck materials are wood, treated wood. And the trim dimensions do match the house. The roof materials do match the house. Now, you said you needed drawings showing the proposed addition in the context of the existing house. If you look at drawings, well, A1, and then also if you look at the A2, the front elevation, you can see how that's going to attach.
That's a better. I had to break it up to get in
Yeah.
8.5 by 11, but that's. So basically, if you look at the house, there's a little bathroom that comes off of the hip roof.
Yeah.
We're looking at tying that roof into that and then putting the stairwell underneath of that cover that goes down into the patio.
The closest thing to the house will be covered patio. And then there's double doors going into the building.
Yes.
And is the existing rear deck and the hot tub and spa, is that all coming?
Going away.
Okay.
Another question, your post dimension, how does the post type photograph looks a bit thin for its height. I was just curious about the actual dimension of
Oh,
the
that's gonna
post.
be a 6-inch post.
Okay.
6 by 6.
Yeah, it's a little tall.
It's on the spec sheet.
I think it might look a little more substantial if it was, the size was increased a little bit. You know, just maybe just beef it up because it's going to be about 8 feet tall. So, you know, if the finished dimension was closer to an 8 by 8, I think it might look a little more structurally substantial and not quite so thin. Like it appears a little undersized to me. I mean, the style is fine, but
Especially because part of it looks like it's 2 stories. Am I reading that right?
About 1.5,
Yes.
like right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one looks like really kind of spindly for,
Yeah.
even though structurally, I don't know. Seems like an 8.
Broken up by.
I mean, if they are.
Fine, I'll do an 8 by 8. I'd rather have,
I mean, yeah, it just looks, I don't know. I hear what you're saying, Ken. That's what the existing porch is. So,
Yeah, we can make it match the existing floor.
yeah, I understand that since it's already there.
is that it?
I mean, that looks like there's more, but I think they were duplicates.
All right, for the board members, was there anything left on your list that you'd like to ask about or any questions or comments?
No.
I guess the only thing with the dormers is that I just feel like they need to move in a little bit. It seems like it's right on the edge of the building at the garage.
Well,
I don't know if we could just scooch it over.
I was
just a little.
looking at creating the same distance as the mass between the dormers.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, there's problem with sightline is you got this to that, but then you have this
Yeah.
to all the
the
mass.
overall, yeah. that's
Right.
And in a 2D picture, it's really hard to do that. And I think in real life, if the
Yeah.
dormers were off center in the mass of the roof, it's gonna look awkward.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a good point. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you did show them a, hip style on that.
Oh yeah, I
dormer?
drew all 3.
Okay. And then I think one thing that Carol might have mentioned during the work session was the front of those dormers. They're not showing the
Yeah,
hatching,
the hatch
but,
pattern, I didn't.
you said that all the
I
materials
was
are
in
gonna
a hurry.
match.
I
So.
guess I didn't get it in
Yeah.
here, but it's gonna be LP, 6-inch LP
Yeah.
siding.
Okay.
All right, anything else, Carol? All right, this is the public hearing. Is there anyone else present that wants to make a comment on 47 Joy Avenue? Online or in person? Seeing no one, do I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve 47 Joy Avenue with the understanding you're gonna add a window to the rear elevation. And that's the totality.
And-
of the
Eight by
design.
eight.
The size of the,
And make the post 8 by 8.
Oh, you're increasing the post size to 8 by 8?
Yeah.
And the post size will be increased to 8 by 8.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, opposed? All right, Dennis and Debbie, you're approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice night. I'm down.
Oh.
Absolutely, I couldn't do any other one. 210 Hawthorne Avenue.
Ted Sheets, I'm an owner.
Hi, Ted.
Ted.
All right, 210 Hawthorne, let's see, comments from the board, I'm not sure. Oh, I know what the
Yeah, we were
comments
just,
were, yeah.
yeah, struggling to, we didn't have the previously approved drawings as part of the packet.
Oh, okay,
So we weren't able to compare what has changed. I mean, everything's clouded, but
sure.
be curious if you would be open to just kind of explaining to us.
Okay. So, on the second story, we thought it'd be interesting to put a balcony up there off of the, homeowner suite. So there's a door there now that you can see at the side elevation. On the first floor addition, we wanted to have more wall space on the inside, so we decided to put just one window in the middle of each side versus 2.
Mhm.
And then the front porch was the other addendum, and it's just a 2-foot further depth to give us a little more space on the front porch.
Okay. Looks great.
Good.
Sounds good. Thanks for explaining.
Yeah, I
Appreciate it.
think it looks fine. It's just nice to know exactly what the specifics are before we vote.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice. It's a nice addition. I like it.
All right. So with that, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone present that wants to make a comment on 210 Hawthorne Avenue? And seeing no one, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 210 Hawthorne.
Avenue as submitted.
Oh, go ahead. I was
Second.
Yeah, second. You got David's a second, so yeah.
Everyone in unison.
All together now. I think we all want it, so let's just vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, Ted, you're approved.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Have a good night.
Overwhelmingly approved.
Yeah. Landslide. All right, next we have 15 Hamel.
I'm Dan Carpenter, the homeowner.
I'm Ann.
Hi, guys.
And I'm Roger,
Welcome back.
I'm Roger Betlack. I'm the builder, and I've got some information you guys are looking for. So I'm gonna start
Okay.
Fantastic.
side elevation and then the material list.
Okay,
Oh, great.
In color.
Love color.
In living color.
Okay.
Oops. Sorry. Thank you. No, yep, it's all good.
Sorry about that. I learned a lesson. Check it comes from the printer.
Yeah.
It's all first floor, isn't it? 12 feet.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Is there a between the adhered stone and the hardy panel, how much depth relief is there? Like the stone sticks off how far past the face of the?
This stone, it looks very similar to if it was a full piece of stone.
Right,
It'll,
right.
it'll project forward from the face of the wall a couple inches.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
It's 2 inches.
So it will have a very, very strong appearance of stone.
Good, good.
Yeah.
good,
For
good,
now,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I was curious because if that hardy panel was almost flush with the stone, it would look weird. You know,
Yeah,
it would
no,
look
this will,
painted, you know,
this
but-
will
okay.
project past the front of the hardy panel at least about 2 inches. It looks really very, I mean, it's very attractive,
Very cool.
very attractive.
Oh, are we discussing FAR first or?
Yeah, we do have to, we have to vote on FAR and the design. So we kind of started with the design because, well, Roger
Jump the
gave us.
gun.
That's quite all right. Totally fine. We're flexible here. Okay, so any comments from the board members about the FAR?
What was the result in?
They were near 40
39.99999.
with the attached garage.
Okay.
And where we went last time was we started doing napkin sketch math and found that if they had detached the garage, they were still going to be well over 32. So we asked that they try to get that back down to how it would be if they were still. See, now I'm lost again.
Yeah, I mean, the conversation was circling around the fact that the garage is attached was actually hurting their numbers.
Would be.
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, they've done some work to
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
revamp things and get the percentage down and still kept the, design.
So what are they
Working, so I-
presenting here tonight then? As far as
This is the redesign
Yeah, this is
with the lower FAR,
Okay.
Yeah.
which is now,
cut out 218 square feet.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's 36.7. All right.
You guys, yeah, did a good job addressing that. Yeah.
Okay, so Carol, did you have anything to add?
No,
Far?
no, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for the clarifications and the background.
So, I guess we do the FAR first. Do I have a motion on 15 Hamel FAR request?
I make a motion to approve 15 Hamel with the revised FAR.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, opposed. All right, FAR crest, the
Robert rules of
the FAR request has been approved. Next, we have the construction of the home itself and design. Any comments from the board? Other than, I mean, I just want to say, I really like the house. It's a nice, modern house, lots of windows. It's going to be fantastic inside and out. It's nice to have that modern context too. So I like the material palette too.
Yeah, the lot is pretty awesome. I drove by there. That's really cool.
It's $1 million lot.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm glad they're teeing off that direction and not.
Yeah.
They could hit some T markers. I've seen this.
Sure. Okay. All right, no other comments from the board, then do I have a motion on 15 Hamel?
I'll make a motion to approve 15 Hamel as submitted, including the left elevation drawing that was submitted this evening.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right, Dan and Ann, you're approved. You're welcome. Have a great evening. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Roger.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate that. Good night. Next, we have 633 North Forest Avenue.
Judd Fuhr, Dogwood Homes. All right, your questions were, let's see. We can add a small vent, like gable vent on the front of the garage. These are from my architect. Let's see, the fourth elevation shown is it's because the side of the garage, the one side faces the neighbor's garage. So there's no, I don't know why you'd put a window there when you're not looking at anything and no light's really going to come through because it's 6 feet from the property line on both sides. So
No.
what? Yeah.
No.
I mean, I would say light will come through, but
yeah, but
I understand what you're
yeah,
saying.
I mean, it's just, I mean,
Yeah, I wouldn't say no light will come.
yeah,
through.
but it's to me, it's
I
a
would
waste.
say
but-
some light will for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, you'll get light through, but you're not looking at anything but a neighbor's
Yeah, right,
garage if you're in your
exactly.
garage. So,
Understood.
let's see, the existing window trim is going to remain around all the existing windows. Yes, there will be a porch skirt on the side porch. The prow is to remain. I think someone may have asked what the material is. It's going to be 5-inch lap siding and then the shake on the gables, like on the drawings. And then someone else was asked, one of the questions I could send to me was what kind of railing is on the back deck? It's the white PVC railing. So
Okay.
I think that was all the questions.
All right. Thank you. Any additional comments from the board?
Not aye.
All good here. Looking good.
I already missed my Uber, so it's okay. My family went to the concert without me.
Are you the homeowner or the builder?
Both.
Okay, you look familiar.
I've been here many a time. So. Thought I wouldn't have to get there. I was buying a house with plans already that were approved twice, but here I am. So
All right, Tracy or
Can't ever
Carol,
get away.
anything else? All right, with that, can I have a motion on 633, please, North Forest Avenue?
I'll make a motion to approve 633 North Forest with the understanding that the existing window trim will remain, that a porch skirt will be added to the side porch, that the existing prow is to remain. The material is 5-inch lap siding and there will be shakes in the gables. And gable louver will be added to the front elevation of the garage.
correct.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, you're approved. Good to go.
Thank you.
Just in time to get the concert.
I got to drive myself.
All right. Have a good night. All right, next we have, we are going to table 812 North Bompard Avenue. And so that brings us to preliminary. First one is 150 Parsons Avenue. Anyone present for 150 Parsons Avenue? Donna?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, Donna.
Hi. How's everyone? Good?
Super great. Thanks.
Super great.
How about yourself?
Pretty good. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Good.
So I was listening to you all earlier. Okay.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
can I address the windows that are not at the same height on right side?
Sure.
Look at the floor plan. And it reads that we have 11-foot ceilings, the kitchen, dining, and great room. You don't see that those are raised because they're under the screen porch. The rest are not. So the elevations are according to the height of the ceiling.
Okay.
And since we don't have to, and they're taller windows and so on. So your other windows are at the normal height off the floor from those rooms.
Okay.
And the small transom style horizontal is in a shower. It's up high in the shower.
Okay. Thank you.
That's the answer to those.
Yep.
Got it?
Got it.
Let's see. What else were you asking? Go ahead, and you guys, if you remember.
Yeah, we were talking about adding a window to the preliminary bedroom on the side. Also a second window in bedroom number 2.
Yeah.
And
well,
another bedroom in, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
And then another window in bedroom 3 on the opposite side. Just
I see that. Well, we have 2, and we don't really want to put a third one because, like you guys were talking about earlier, wall space for furniture and things like that. So, because we feel like the bed's probably going to go between the 2 windows in the front. But anyway, that's our thought. And I know you're concerned about the windows and the light coming in being a little bit diffused because of the porches. Okay. So our thought on 3 is we'd like to not add one on the side. Our thought on 2 is if we need to add, we'll go to a double probably instead of 2 singles, I think. That would be his answer, I think Tom would say. But nonetheless, we will add another window on 2. Okay.
So on 2, you're either going to add another double hung or else pair them up.
Yeah, or we'll pair them together and make them a twin.
Right.
But either way, there'll be, twice as much light in that space. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I might go with the twin. I think I would like it better because on the elevation.
The twin. Okay.
Yeah, probably because on the elevation will be next to the office. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
And what about the primary bedroom?
The primary bedroom, if we did anything, I would say the bed wall, which would be the outside. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do 2 transoms. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Half windows because they would have those, the night
right,
the whole 9 yards. If
you
want to throw light in there. And I think that would look nice on the side elevation, left side.
Yes. Agreed.
Falling around I think that would work pretty good.
Well,
and it doesn't interfere with any furniture placement, stuff like that in the rooms. Okay.
Okay. Got it. That,
that's about the windows.
I think, Ken, didn't you have?
I was just saying, you've got the little rectangular vents and the gables on the front elevation. I didn't know if you.
They're sort of using
those around the house.
No, we typically don't put them everywhere anymore because they're not real. They're not real. They don't use those vents anymore. They put, and the ones are decoration more so than anything. So I think we'd rather not put them on the gable sides and rear.
Are you doing a ridge vent or something?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. All right, and then the last question I had was the breakboard between the vertical gable framing and the lap siding changes elevations on the sides, and I'm just curious as to why.
The horizontal board?
Well, if you look at sheet A1, you got the gable height on the two front, you got the breaker board.
Yes.
Level, and then you go to the side and it looks like it jumps up like 2.5 feet. I was just curious why you did that.
We like the way it looks.
Okay.
That's why we do that.
Okay.
And we're really just giving it a detail to break up the vertical versus the horizontal. So we like to bring it up higher. If you notice on the, let's see, either side has anything that totally lines up with each other.
I wouldn't go any higher.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay, go ahead. Sorry, Ken. I was just looking at something else here. So Donna, I'd like to go back to this preliminary or the primary bedroom, the master. And I'm looking at the left side elevation and these little 5-inch transom windows, you know, I think sometimes those work in a shower or in a kitchen, but
we're not going to we won't do the 5s, babe. We'll do them probably a little taller. That 5.
Well, it seems like in the master bedroom, you know, you could do like a square or something that's not so like
we will do a square. Which way to me, babe, it's kind of look like a half window.
Right, exactly. I think that would look nice in the bedroom, and the head height's the same.
It will.
And then it'll be balanced for the bed and
right. We'll put those in the yes, but the one in the shower will be the long, narrow.
Yeah, that's fine. I understand that.
Yeah. No. They won't be that same height as the shower one, okay?
Okay.
I agree with you. I like to show more of a half window.
Yeah. Okay, and then the 2 and you're gonna skip the side of bedroom 3 because you already have 2 windows in the back.
Right.
I'd put 2 more windows in there if it was me. I'd put 2 windows on the side too. I'd make that work.
Yeah.
But you know, that's fine. It's fine without them.
You'd rather not.
If that's what you guys would like to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's one comment about the stone terminating at the corner.
Right.
Just curious if you're open to wrapping that around the corner, just so that we don't see the.
That's always a struggle with me. Yeah. I think if you, let's say, wrap it around the corner, you pull more attention to it than if you just let it die on the end. I don't think it's as visible. I don't know. I get what you're saying. Because by the time they put the downspout on it, because they will, if you see the one on the right side elevation, by the time that gutter comes across there and they put a downspout right there, it's going to be right on top of that stone. You're really not going to see it.
Okay.
You see what kind of we got it there?
I don't know. I think anytime you wrap the stone, it looks a little more substantial. You know, it just, to me personally, I just think when it's just flat and it's got a piece of trim at the end, it just looks less.
I think when you wrap it and you only wrap it a couple of feet or so and you stop, it looks like you're cheap, you know? It's like, well, why did you just keep going with it, you know?
Right.
But we know that's not going to happen.
I've seen any number of homes do what you're doing, and I don't really have any issue with it whatsoever. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I know.
Yeah.
Because it's not real stone.
It's not real stone anyway.
Yeah.
It just looks less like real stone when it doesn't wrap to me.
Right.
It like reinforces the not real stone aspect of the stone.
Right. Now, if it were, you're right. If it were stone and brick, and it was inset like that and it didn't wrap, you know, that's a different story.
Right.
Especially if the downspout covers it up, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know that's always a big struggle for me, but
yeah,
the wrapping, it's like, for what, you know, it's to stop and say, well, we're cheap and we're going to stop it right here. I mean, that's it. That's my thoughts about it, guys. I like the and it's a short.
Yeah, it's short, and so that's
short.
fine.
Very, you know, or the whole wall, I think I would take a second thought about that, guys.
No, that's fine. I understand. Yeah, I think I agree with you. When it's just the lower course, it's probably less of an issue.
Right. Well, and the downspout's going to be on it, guys. It's going to be on it. You're not going to.
Right. Okay.
That's my thoughts.
Alrighty. Any other comments from the board? If not, then
I don't think there are.
I think we could move it from preliminary to make a motion and approve it.
Oh, that would be nice. I would.
Okay, well, let's see what we can do.
Don't get your hopes up.
Want me to get my hopes up? Oh my God, that would make me happy.
Let's see if we can pull this off for you.
Okay,
all
babe.
right. All right. One.
Then you won't have to see it again.
150 Parsons. Okay. Thank you, Donna.
Okay, babe. Go ahead.
If I could have a motion on 150 Parsons Avenue.
All right, I'll make a motion. Make a motion on 150 Parsons Avenue with the following revisions. We are going to be adding a window to bedroom number 2 to make it a twin double hung unit. We'll be adding 2 square windows to the primary bedroom. I don't know what direction that is. On the exterior
right
side elevation. Yep.
So left
side.
Sure. The left side elevation. Yeah.
Left side.
That's it.
I guess that is it. Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 I oppose. All right, Donna, you're approved. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. You guys too. Okay. See you again.
Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. So we're at 509 Summit, but this is one where we want to discuss the FAR, right?
Yeah.
Good evening. Hello.
Hi, this is Ben Ellerman from Blaze Architects.
Hey, Ben, welcome.
Thank you. This project, we've got our clients, they've got a growing family. They have 2 children who are sharing a bedroom on the 2nd floor. So they're looking to add a 3rd bedroom to add a new primary suite with a bedroom, bathroom, and then modifying your closet to turn it into a walk-in closet. Currently, the lot is substandard for the zoning district, which should be 7,500 square foot. It's probably, honestly, one of the smallest lots we've worked for a client. It's only 4,650 square feet, which is about 38% smaller than the requirement for the zoning district. We're looking to add 337 square feet on above like a 1st floor family room. That's really more like 323 because we're tearing off a part of a bay on the 2nd floor, which you can see on the demo plans. And then there's also an additional 20 square feet from modifying the roof line of the walk-in closet, because currently that's a low slope ceiling and we'd overframe it, but ideally we'd like to open up some of the roof framing to make that space usable. But currently that front bedroom in the house slopes down on both sides, and a large portion of that is not usable. It's below the 5-foot required area. We do realize we're close to the maximum on this. I guess when our clients purchased this house, probably like 12, 15 years ago, they would have been allowed to build a 2,800 square foot home. Then that dropped down to maybe 2,600 square foot. They're not asking to add that much. The total square footage would be 1858. On a normal normal size lot in the zoning district, that'd be about 25% FAR. So it's really the issue of the lot being substandard and trying to meet the needs of their growing family. But I welcome any questions from the board. We did look at some options to reduce the square footage, like the walk-in closet. We could not do that part, which is about 20 square foot. Our area where the vanities are, that could be slightly smaller, have shorter vanities. We could gain 19 square feet there, but then we'd have to have a cut-in area for the front porch roof because it's such a steep slope at a 712. But even if we took out that 39 square feet, that's only 0.8%. It'd only drop us down to 39.1. We don't feel like the rooms are that huge. I mean, the primary suite is 15.5 by 12.5. And it's basically, we're mimicking the front elevation on the side with the cross gable and then extending the rear shed dormer to the side. But we're definitely open to suggestions from the board for reducing the FAR, but it is a pretty tight layout with this house.
What is the requested FAR to above 0.32?
It's 39.9.
And you're saying the main driving factor is we're starting out with a sub-sized lot square area?
Yeah, the lot's only 46. It's 4650, not 7,500. So it's probably the smallest lot we've worked on in Webster.
It looks like, I mean, it almost looks like it was part of 777 Newport years ago and then got subdivided.
Yeah, we were wondering about that and how that.
So you're taking a compact 2-bedroom house and trying to squeeze a 3rd bedroom out of it. So.
Correct, and keeping it a 1.5 stories. That's correct.
Thanks for the clarification on the lot size. I mean, you are kind of in close quarters there, so that gives us some context and some understanding into the 39.9 FAR request. So yeah, I understand why you need to do that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that you're choosing to try to go up versus spreading out on the site.
Right. This project's all about scale and character, and it's done very well, I think.
Yeah, I always have a red flag raised when I see that the FAR is maximized to the limit. But I think in this case, just looking at the scale of the home and what you're proposing, I feel like it all fits and makes sense. So it's not alarming to me that you're adding that square footage. So I'm in favor of it.
Yeah, I'm too.
Add a 3rd story.
Yeah, maybe you could push it a little further.
Kidding.
All right. So
we have to vote twice.
Yeah, we have to move it to submittal and then vote twice.
yeah, so it sounds like we're good on the FAR with the board. So I'm going to ask, we'll go ahead and move 509 Summit from preliminary, and do I have a motion on 509 Summit FAR requests?
I motion to approve the FAR request at 509 Summit to the 3.99 as asked for.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right, 509 Summit FAR request approved. Next, do I have a motion on 509 Summit 2nd floor addition?
Make a motion to approve 509 Summit design as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right, Ben, you're approved. Nice job.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks. All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Dave Sanders printing building. It's enormous. Like the deluxe paper.